that can that can offer like a good leadership for them.
You know, Norbs, we were just there, perfect harmony, and now you messed
There
that
you
up
go.
with that
See, it was only a matter of
ridiculous.
time.
See,
And boom goes the dynamite.
welcome everyone to another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy. Tommy Lee here, of course. You know my great co-host, Norbz, Cabrera. Brittany NGUYEN cannot join us because she's lazy. No, I'm kidding. She's just she's busy. Love you, Britt. The matriarch of Tea Time with Tommy will join us next episode. But yeah, why aren't you drinking tea, man? Again with the guru.
Hey, this is Guru Matcha.
This is what you're supposed to drink.
They put matcha on tea, so technically it is a tea.
Oh, no, before we start, tell the viewers, get some merch, man. There's the link below, guys. All the support you can get. Buy the merch. If we hit $100 of merch, we'll do something special on the show.
$100?
That is right
wow,
now.
That's quite the lofty expectations.
Tell them to buy the merch, man. Don't go the other way, man. Discourage them, man. Tell them to buy the merch. Like so.
Yes.
Anyways, Norbs, you're too late, man. Anyways, yes, buy the merch. Link below. Norbs, I was trying to get Norbs to tell you that, but he's somewhat in his mind thinking about baseball playoffs right now, or baseball games. So buy the merch downstairs.
Yes, indeed. Buy the merch. Yes.
Link below. All right.
Very affordable, people. Very affordable.
Our merch right here. Okay, guys, I'll stop blabbing on as usual. Let's get to the topic, Norbs. So Nick Nurse is now the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. We are going to go with question number one here is, can Nick Nurse lead the 76ers to the NBA championship? I'll just go right ahead first and you can rebuttal, Norbs. Absolutely. Nick Nurse will lead them to the NBA championship, depending on if James Harden stays or goes. If only Joel Embiid is left on the roster next year, they're not. I don't even know if they can make the Eastern Conference Finals with just Joel Embiid. Embiid is a great player. You know, he's going to go down, I think, in the Hall of Fame. He's just, I'm guessing health-wise. If we all know Joel Embiid is a force of nature when he's healthy. But right now, it's his health, and he seems to shrink, Norbs, if you can agree with me, in the spotlight, Joel Embiid. I think, me personally, I think Jokic deserved the MVP this year. Jokic leading the Nuggets as so far into the NBA Finals against the Heat. Embiid really had a very poor game in Game 7. And I'm not just blaming him, but like he's the leader of the team, had a poor game against the Celtics in Game 7. I mean, it's going to take more than Joel Embiid for Nick Nurse to lead that team. Now, if Harden comes back, they have a chance. Now, Nick Nurse, the maestro, I think personally he's top 5 coach in the NBA, Nick Nurse. So I think he's the maestro. He's got schematics. He can adjust during the pressure cooker moments in the playoffs. Depends on if Harden comes back, or it depends on if they can get a secondary star. Next to Embiid, rumors are they'd love to get hands on Dame Lillard or Trae Young. I don't think Trae Young is enough. It will take someone like Dame Lillard, but Dame Lillard has said publicly he wants to retire Blazer. I don't know why. The dude's done enough. You want a title or not, Dame? Come on. So remains to be seen who the roster is. It has to be more than Embiid.
Yeah, I truly believe that there's an opportunity for the Sixers to become NBA champions. It may not be like next year, but I give it about 2 or 3 years that, you know, Nick Nurse will, as you mentioned, that he could be the maestro for this team. And it depends on Joel Embiid's health and his ongoing performance in the future, and also Harden's situation if he wants to stay in Philadelphia. Nick Nurse, yes, he was a highly sought after coach during this offseason, and anybody could have scraped him up from Toronto. But I think that I like Nick Nurse. I like his coaching style. He's got a knack for being creative and innovative thinker. And he's got a style very different from Doc Rivers, the former coach. Doc Rivers, I've seen it all. He's been a player, he's been a coach for many years, but that veteran style of coaching kind of differs from what the mentality of Nick Nurse is. So I think he's definitely going to keep the Sixers offensive categories improving, and also defensively. I think that the Sixers, like, even though that they lost in 7 games last time against the Celtics in the playoffs, I think they should keep some of that momentum heading into next year, and they'll be in good hands. Embiid has a good relationship with him, and Nurse knows the basketball executive, basketball president of operations there in the Sixers. So it is the right move for Nick Nurse, and they'll be in good hands.
Oh, for sure. I think he's like top 5 in the league, Norbz. So all the Sixers need is whoever's the general manager, I believe, for the Sixers. I forget who I don't know who the general manager is, but whoever the general manager is right now for the Sixers should definitely just provide Nick with the right roster construction. And then, it's based on the players you have. No matter how great of a coach you are, you need the players to deliver for you. Ask Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley that, right? So hopefully, Nick Nurse will have the players available. Going on to question number 2, Norbz, is, did Masai make a mistake letting go of Nick Nurse? Did he make a mistake?
I think it's, what, I tried to, just consider this question like all day long. Was it really a mistake by Masai Ujiri to let go of Nick Nurse at this time? I truly feel that I was really on the fence in this one. It's really tough for me to say, but I think it was a mistake based on like how the trend of the musical coaches that has been happening throughout the offseason. I think that the Raptors just followed suit in letting go of Nick Nurse because, the Milwaukee Bucks let go of Mike Budenholzer, and the Sixers let go of Doc Rivers, and Monty Williams was let go of as the coach of the Suns. I think the Raptors just follow this trend. I don't know for sure if it's like something that always happens in the NBA, because when you compare it to like other sports leagues like the NHL or MLB, like they keep their coaches for a number of years until something really happens. But it seems like in the NBA, there's always going to be that musical coaches happening every single year, and it's quite a trend. So I think that the Raptors just followed suit in that. But at the same time, like, I think, because the Raptors really struggled offensively last year, I truly thought that it was time, in a way, for Masai to have their GM Bobby Webster to make the coaching change and let go of Nick Nurse. I mean, like, the Raptors were really poorly offensively, 24th overall in points per game. And 27th place in a field goal percentage in the league last year. So they were near the bottom. I thought that the Raptors needed a new voice, and to coach this team that's very much some of their players are in their prime or getting into their prime, like Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. He's already on his prime. Fred VanVleet already on his prime. So whoever takes over the Raptors coaching job will have to keep these guys, coachable, I guess, like keep their lines of motion moving and just keep motivating them into becoming a caliber team.
Yeah, like, I mean, wow, this is a miracle. Norbz, we're kind of on the same page today. Like, we got, there's like no arguing here with doing, I wouldn't want to bore our audience, but it seems like we're on the same page here. Yeah,
a productive podcast,
I mean,
for once.
I know, but don't worry, viewers of Tea Time. We'll get feisty soon. But listen, like, yeah, I gotta agree with you, Norbz. It was time to move on. Although it's tough. You're looking at the stats here. Like, Nurse had a record 227, and wins, 163 losses. That's like a 0.582 winning percentage. That's pretty good. It's ranked at one of the best in Raptors history. You know, he spent 5 years with Dwayne Casey as well. And also, like, yes, how could I forget president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, of course, and Elton Brand. How could I forget? How could we forget that, Norbs? I blame you. I blame you, Norbs Cabrera, for not remembering that the president of basketball
Well, you have the records in
operations
front of you, sir.
is Daryl Morey, the great Daryl Morey, and the general manager, the great Elton Brand. I got to, I met Elton Brand when I worked at Good Life 137. He came down to Toronto. It was great. But anyways, I'm boring.
You should have
you guys
gotten his autograph.
No, man. I didn't want to get fired from Good Life 137.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I will get trouble by my general manager. But like, although my general manager is a big basketball fan, but going into what we're talking about here, yeah, it's it had to move on. They need a new voice. Seems, Norbs, that the players just weren't responding to Nick Nurse during this past year. You know, and it just wasn't working. They had barely gotten the play-in, lost to Chicago Bulls, who we should have beat. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, they have DeMar DeRozan and they have Zach LaVine, yeah, but they're not like, you know, Hall of Fame superstars, right? We should have gotten. But like at the same time, you know, we need a new voice. Problem is now, no one wants to coach for us. I don't know what Masai's doing. I read online, and I am not ever going to disrespect the great Steve Nash, the greatest game player in NBA history, bar none. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but we don't need him as a head coach. Like, he's proven his track record, wasn't really good with the Nets, didn't have any schematics or schemes. His scheme was give the ball to Kevin Durant, give the ball to Kyrie Irving, and go. That was all this. If at that time they had a better coach like a Nick Nurse or Eric Spoelstra, the Nets would have beat the Bucks. Even though they were injured, they didn't have Kyrie or James Harden at the time. Steve Nash, a great player, but he just doesn't have the schematics. So we're looking far and wide. Like, I mean, we got problems that we have still not find a hired coach. I don't know what Masai's doing. I will never question the greatness of Masai Ujiri, but he's got to get going. He's got to like get some head coach, because we lost our head coach now, Nick Nurse, and we lost our assistant coach, Adrian Griffith. So, Masai, if you're watching, come on. Let's go. Get a coach. Not Steve Nash. I'm sorry, Steve, but you know, I just don't know if that's the right call. Okay, going to the last question. Norbz Cabrera. What does this mean for the Raptors now? Like, where do you see the Raptors going now? You don't have Nick Nurse. We don't have Adrian Griffith. Where does this go for the Raptors?
I truly think that the Raptors are, you know, I really hope that they can hit a crossroads somewhere, because they are a very talented team, and it's always excited to see them play. They're highly entertaining bunch, and they have the capability of, even though that they don't have like a big superstar like a Kawhi Leonard or like a Joel Embiid in that team, I truly feel that they have the talent. They have
come back, Kawhi.
They have the heart and hustle to advance into a playoff position, or you know, to go far. But there's an opportunity for them to excel in the league. It may be like a big mountain to climb for them, and whoever takes over the Raptors coaching job will have his hands full. That's for sure. I think he's gonna have his hands full. I don't know where this team is heading. Maybe may not advance into the playoffs into next year. Maybe I'd say in about a few years' time. Maybe when I'm old and gray, who knows? I think that still the Raptors are a very entertaining bunch. Don't get me wrong. Scotty Barnes is like high profile, and Pascal Siakam on a good night he can electrify the crowd. But I feel that they have the capability. They have the drive. They have the hustle. They just need to be coachable. They just need to listen to somebody that can offer like a good leadership for them.
You know, Norbs, we were just there, perfect harmony, and now you messed
there
that
you
up
go
with that ridiculous. See,
It was only a matter of time,
Tea
sir.
time, audience. It was only a matter of time with that ridiculous take that you just made there. Yeah, I mean, okay, I get it. Yeah, they can be an exciting bunch. You're just being too nice. See, my lovely co-host Norbz Cabrera is just too nice. And I understand he's very professional, very articulate, knows the sports. Of course,
I'm like the Mike Tenay of WCW. Like he was the professor.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he was the good side commentator. So yeah, Mike Tenay. I really learned a lot from you.
you need a Stephen A or a Skip to get this going, or Shannon Sharp. This is you're too nice, man.
Oh,
Like,
Stephen
come
A,
on.
Stephen A.
What is this? A lullaby story? A lullaby song fest? Yeah, they look like an exciting bunch. Yeah, they look. No, Raptors Nation doesn't want to hear that. We're pathetic. We're awful right now, currently. Who are our top players? Let's see, Norbs. You got Pascal missing from in action, Siakam. You got Fred, I'm too short to guard anybody, Van Fleet. And you got Scotty, I love doing Subway commercials more than practicing Barnes. Like, come, what is that? That's our top three players, ladies and gentlemen, Raptors Nation. Am I doubting they're good players? No, they'd be great pieces to a championship, but we don't have that bona fide superstar. Now, I know Masai knows more than we do of what's going on in the background, but we can't win with these three. Like, yeah, Scotty, give him time. How much longer time? Like, what, 2 more years? Like, the guy, like, yes, he wants to win. I'm not saying he's not a piece to a championship, nor it's like, you know what, Scotty could be a great secondary piece, just like Scottie Pippen, you know, the Rob he or like Pascal was to Kawhi. He could be that Robin. He's not. Never knocking Scotty. Like, he seems to be a lovable guy. People in Toronto love him. Goes out in the streets, you know, taking selfies with people of Toronto. He's embracing himself with Toronto culture, King culture. I'm not knocking, trying to knock Scotty, but I really, from 2 years, don't see him leading us to a title. Now, it's a secondary piece, yes. We need that dog, that Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, that, you know, now Kevin Durant can't lead, but I mean, you need that leader who can just, you know, take the team. You even need a leader, North. Remember, Kawhi wasn't leading. It was Kyle Lowry that was a leader, right? So just need that number one player with the talent. And you know what? The voice can come from Scotty, or the voice can come from Fred, or the lead locker room leader can come from Siakam, right? We just need that player that can ball, that can just ball in your hands, 2 minutes left. We don't have that. We're not going anywhere with these guys. So unless Masai is just really I mean, they're just like friends, like best friends, you know, they're like homies. He doesn't want to deal any of them. Like, he doesn't want to trade them. Like, he's got to make a move with one of these three. Like, I mean, or it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if those three bribed Masai not to trade them. I have no idea. But for me, it's really quizzical why Masai believes in this group. Like, I don't see one player that can lead our team to the title. I had to make it spicy for us, guys. Norbs, you're too professional and nice.
Well, in that case, if the Raptors need to have that big superstar to sign with us, I think MLSC will have to raise their payroll, right? Because they own a lot of teams in Toronto.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's all about the payroll and how much they would spend on a really highly profiled player to come to Toronto. I mean, you know, who wants to play in Canada? Like, honestly,
would you try to go for Dame Lillard?
Well, he's already locked in with the Blazers.
I mean, no. If someone like Dame Lillard or Shea Gilgeous asked out, would you try to trade for them? I would. Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, if they asked out, would you try to go for them? Well, like, I would personally. I think someone like Shea or Dame could definitely lead us to a title with that.
Yeah, throw in some draft picks in there to, try to like leverage the move. We'll see. I don't mind putting a lot of draft picks on there. with a guy like Siakam or Van Fleet in that deal, I wouldn't mind.
I don't even think Van Fleet's going to resign with us. I can't blame him. Like, look at our team currently right now.
Malachi, who knows? Like they'll have to they have to really construct it well to impress the other side, right?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants Malachi. Nothing against him. Like, he would school me on the court any day of the week. But I mean, I don't know if any team would want him. He hasn't really been the guy that Masai hoped he would be as the other point guard behind Van Fleet.
Well, so, on a good day, he could be like a sixth man type of caliber player, right?
Well, it's just, I mean, I just want to end it with this, North, and I'll let you respond. One for the last time, one more time. Like, I really don't think this team constructed can even make it to the second round of the playoffs. Can we squeak in the first? Yeah, but I really don't think they can. Like, see, you should go for championship, right? Now I want to hear fans saying, "Oh, we got one title. That's okay." It's my brother talking. You know, like, "Oh yeah, we got a title. Who cares? We can lose for the next 20 years." No, we shouldn't. Raptors Nation, we're like the best fans in the NBA. You know, and I mean that. Like, we go out with passion, pay for those ridiculous expensive seats in the freaking yawning up there stand for like $670, right? And we're real fans. It shows when you see the stadium. It shows it defines Toronto for us, right? And it defines Canada too. We're a multicultural country, right? And for, like, you know, it's just for us to be like, oh, it's okay, we got a title. We can stink for the next 2 decades. No, it's not okay. And I think Masai knows that. Like, he's a winner. He wants to win, right? So, I mean, this constructed currently is not working out. So, would I deal a Siakam? Would I deal Scotty? I'd deal Scotty. I would, to get a legit superstar player, you know, because I mean, I just don't think Scotty can lead us. He can be that secondary piece, but I don't think he can lead us to a title. So just watching him the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can he be a Chris Bosh? Yeah. And that's no diss. That's a compliment. He could be a Chris Bosh, but can he be a LeBron or a D-Wade? No.
Well, we just have to see how next season unfolds, you know, with the new coach and what that person is going to do, how he will motivate guys like Barnes and Van Vliet and Boucher. Like, we just have to know, because he will be able to identify who
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the coach, Norbz. It's the players. Like, the coach can't be scoring for the players. I believe it's Masai's. Sorry to interrupt. I believe that's Masai's job to provide the next coach with the player. You know, with the players. But sorry, I interrupted.
Well, it all starts at the end of the day. It starts with coaching, because he's the one that pulls the trigger on everything, right? He calls the shots. He just tells the players what to do. So, like, any coach in the NBA, like Phil Jackson, he molded Michael Jordan to be a good player, a household name. Eric Spoelstra molded, in a way, Dwayne Wade to be that leader for the Heat. Who knows what'll happen in Raptors land? Like, any one of these guys, whom, you know, we think that they're all secondary players. That's fine. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, could there be like a possibility that one of them can eventually lead? Because it all starts with coaching. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he pulls the trigger, he calls the shots. So why not like have that coach, whoever we hire, have the opportunity to like identify these guys and like how he will motivate and mold this team at the end of the day.
Well, hey, we agree to disagree on that part, but great point, Norbz Cabrera. But listen, you're right though. Hopefully, we'll get a great coach, and hopefully, Masai will get that player. And just, you know, I know he doesn't want to do another trade because he's hurt what he did to DeMar, but I mean, Masai's got to know this is business. This isn't the friendly, loving league. It's the NBA. It's a business. So he has to get that mentality. I think he's just being too nice. He's just in love with, I understand he's in love with Siakam. He had roots with Siakam. Yeah, he's got roots. He loves Scotty. He loves Fred. But I mean, the time has to come when you can get a better player in the trade, right? So that's just what my word. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of Tea Time with Tommy by buy the merch. Do not buy the guru drinks that this man is drinking.
Guru's the
And
best.
Brittany will be back. We miss you, Britt. Tita and Tommy, signing out.
On another note, please like and subscribe our podcast, Tea Time with Tommy, or else Tommy will throw tea at you.